Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today we're talking about how to embrace the shift to manage your mindset. I'm glad you're here and I'm happy to be here with you. Today we'll talk about the impact of mindset on your healing. We'll talk about key mindset shifts and practical techniques for implementing these shifts so that you can manage your mindset and not let it manage you. So have you heard the comment, shift your thinking? I remember the time I realized the meaning of this statement, shift your thinking. I had always looked for validation to justify my life. Validation. Why did I need that? I needed the approval of others during all phases of my life, including my personal and professional life. The point of clarity occurred to me when I had tried repeatedly to heal a relationship in my family. I tried, but I got no response. The light went off, though, when I finally realized that I didn't need others to justify success in my life, even family members. I found freedom from the shackles of feeling attached to the conflict. I let go of the victim mentality and learned how to thrive. I shifted my thinking. In other words, I learned to manage my mindset. Mindset is critical to healing, especially the emotional healing that comes after we've been through difficulty like breast cancer. That's when you think life happens to you. You are waiting for the next bad thing to happen. You're worried about a reoccurrence. You may have struggled with the fallout of the trauma while feeling bad, guilty, and somehow broken. As a survivor of breast cancer or any other trauma, you frequently grapple with intense emotional distress, including feelings of sadness, anxiety, anger, guilt, shame, fear. There are many emotions that we may feel. So, trauma, whatever type, impacts your ability to form them and maintain healthy relationships. It becomes a struggle to trust others, creating interpersonal conflict. Trauma erodes your self-esteem and your self-worth. You may struggle with inadequacy, self-blame, and negative self-image. This is what happened to me. But then I understood that why it was happening. I got that point of clarity. I learned that unresolved trauma manifests in physical symptoms such as chronic pain, sleep disturbance, and other health problems. I experienced all of this. Maybe you have too, or maybe you haven't yet, and you can help prevent it by healing. So let's talk about the key mindset shifts. Then we know where to begin. The first is to shift from victim to survivor. This is how seeing yourself as a survivor rather than a victim fosters empowerment and resilience. You can say to yourself, I survived breast cancer. I made it through it. Even on the days when I didn't think I would, I made it. I survived. Victim means you're constantly worried about the next bad thing that could happen. So shifting from a victim to survivor mindset is definitely a step toward your healing process. The second one is to shift from fixed to growth. What this means is adopting a growth mindset. It allows you to learn and to grow despite your painful experience. It allowed me to turn my pain into a passion, a purpose for serving others. I started out by facilitating 2 support groups in my city. And now I'm coaching women and I'm writing books. So finding your purpose helps you to shift your fixed mindset where you're stuck in your trauma or just stuck, unable to know where to go. You can move from fixed to a growth mindset where you're taking on new challenges and looking for ways to grow and help others. The third is to shift from isolation to connection. This emphasizes the importance of seeking support and building connections. If you're seeking support, participating in support groups helps us learn from the experiences of others to better our own lives. I made building relationships one of the core priorities of my life. Those are relationships with family and friends and work associates. I'm not saying it always went perfectly. It definitely didn't. But at least shifting from an isolation to a connection mindset meant I was intentionally connecting with people, intentionally looking to be a better friend, a better sister, a better mother, a better wife. But how do we do that? How do we shift our mindset and make it stick? How do we move from victim to survivor and then to thriver and to continue to grow? There are practical techniques that can help you do this. Little self-help techniques. I'll talk about 5 of them and then we'll move on. But 5 of them include, the first one is to formulate a new mindset and have tools, learn tools to manage your mindset during difficult times. The first one that worked for me was instituting a daily gratitude practice. It's the first thing I did when I was trying to figure out how to make myself better, how to heal my emotions. Looking back, I see the people who surrounded my family. And during these challenging times, I started a gratefulness journal. I recognized all those people and all the goodness in my life. Even with the traumatic experiences, and there were many of them just piling on, I was able to see the blessings, even in those past experiences. The gratefulness journal was the tipping point to help me jumpstart my healing journey, to see the light and gain clarity and where I was going wrong and what I could do better. I now embrace a sense of well-being and good health. And I don't even know, I didn't even knew it was possible. Sometimes we're so stuck in our own heads, we don't even know we need to heal. But I realized it given broken relationships, emotions, body pain, things that didn't make any sense. The benefits are limitless to seeing life through gratefulness eyes. Using a gratefulness lens helps you to heal and allows you to grow. You can begin by setting aside just a few minutes each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. Try writing down 3 things you're grateful for each night before you go to bed. This can even help you sleep because you go to sleep with a positive frame of mind. Even on bad days, you can find a reason to be grateful. The second technique that was very helpful to me is positive affirmations. This is another way I started to shift my mindset. The power of affirmation helps you to rewire negative thought patterns. One I use often, and I still do, is this too shall pass. You know, when something bad is happening or I'm struggling, this too shall pass. Another is the one who falls gets up fastest than the one who never fell. This helps me understand that even though I failed, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to get there. Maybe you have some positive affirmations. Some people write them on little sticky notes and stick them to their bathroom mirror so they see them all the time. For me, it was journaling and writing it down and seeing what other people are doing with their affirmations. The next one is journaling. I used a lot of self-reflection and journaled everything through all of my treatments, afterwards, how I was feeling, what was happening with my body, the side effects, all of that, how I dealt with it. It's all written down. But that journaling was an awesome way to reflect on the experiences, track my progress, and look for ways to get better. This is a good way for you to start as well. It helps you get your mindset in the right place, the positive place, so that you can step forward instead of backward. Journaling prompts can help get you started, such as, what am I grateful for today? And then you just write. You're not worried about spelling or neatness or punctuation. You're just writing. What am I grateful for today? And hopefully you'll have a whole page when you finish. Another one is, what did I learn from this experience? This is a great one when you're wallowing in guilt, or you're nervous, or you're upset or angry about something or a conflict. There's something to be learned from every life experience. So that's a great thing to journal about, especially when you're in the middle of it. The fourth one I'll talk about today is mindfulness and meditation. I was introduced to mindfulness practices because I was into yoga. I had been doing yoga before I got cancer, so I already knew about being mindful and meditative. Deep breathing and meditation are excellent ways to help clear your mind so that you can work on your mindset. This continues to be a struggle for me. It's not easy, but I have found that if I practice meditation every day, it gets easier. It starts to really work. Another idea is a walking meditation. If you have trouble just sitting in silence, walking meditation helps you focus on your senses as you walk. It doesn't have to be a long walk. It just means you're focusing on your senses. You're asking yourself, what do I see? What do I hear? What do I smell? What can you touch or taste? Appreciating the beauty in the world around you helps you get out of your own head and see all the blessings right in front of you. And if you're being intentional and mindful during your walk, then you're meditating because your mind is being intentional. Your mind is seeing and hearing and smelling, touching and tasting. That's an excellent way to be mindful and meditative. And maybe you hadn't thought about that, but it's a good place to start. The fifth one I'll talk about today is using cognitive behavioral techniques. One of them includes challenging negative thoughts and reframing them into positive or more realistic thoughts. For example, if you think, I can't do this one more time, you can reframe it by I can do this, or I will give it my best shot. Consciously is important. You need to be consciously in reframing your thoughts as much as possible. Sometimes our thoughts are controlling us rather than us controlling them. But if the conscious reframing of thoughts is definitely possible, especially if you are working on using more of the other techniques that we just talked about. Then managing your mindset becomes a way of life. Now, these 5 techniques will work, but they don't just work instantly. They're things you need to institute on a daily basis. And then they become habits, and pretty soon they just become a way of life. So we've discussed the importance of mindset. We've talked about key mindset shifts that are helpful to your healing. We've talked about 5 practical techniques to manage your mindset. There are many more techniques. These are just 5 that had worked for me that I still use. I encourage you to implement at least one of these techniques. Or if you don't think these 5 are the right ones to get you started, just let me know. I invite your questions. I can offer you some other ideas as well. Just remember that taking action creates motivation. It's not the opposite. Creating action is the first step, and then you'll feel motivated to keep going and take the next step. As always, I welcome you to reach out if you need further support or if you have additional questions. I can provide these techniques to you in writing as well if you want some time to review them and reflect on them. I am cheering you on today. Have a wonderful Monday. Goodbye.